If you're 50 years old and you've saved less than $200,000 for retirement, this is not a panic message. But it is a wake-up call. Because the math doesn't lie, and the next 10 to 15 years will matter more than the last 30 combined. Stay with me. I'm going to show you exactly where you stand, and more importantly, what you can still do about it. First, let's remove the shame. A lot of people in America between 45 and 60 are in this exact position. You worked. You paid bills. You raised kids. You handled medical emergencies. You dealt with layoffs, recessions, maybe even helped aging parents. This isn't about being irresponsible. It's about the salary trap. You earned income, but the system quietly kept raising your expenses along the way. So if you're sitting at 50 with $120,000 saved, or $80K, or even zero, you are not alone. But we do need to be honest about what that means. Let's look at numbers calmly. The common rule of thumb is the 4% rule. If you have $200,000 invested, 4% gives you $8,000 per year. That's about $667 per month. That's not a retirement income. That's a supplement. Now let's say you also receive Social Security. The average Social Security benefit in the US is roughly $1,900 per month. That's about $22,800 per year. Combine that with your $8,000 from savings, you're at roughly $30,800 per year before taxes. That's about $2,566 per month. Now ask yourself honestly, can you live on that? And remember, inflation doesn't stop just because you retire. Over the last few years, we've seen inflation hit 6%, 7%, even 8%. Healthcare costs historically rise faster than general inflation. A single major medical event can wipe out years of savings. So the real issue isn't that you only have $200,000. The real issue is the retirement gap between what you'll need and what your assets can produce. And if nothing changes, that gap turns into stress. If you need $60,000 per year to live comfortably today, in 15 years that same lifestyle could cost $80,000 or more depending on inflation. Your expenses don't freeze. Your rent doesn't freeze. Groceries don't freeze. Insurance doesn't freeze. But most people assume their lifestyle will just magically shrink. That rarely happens unless you plan for it. Healthcare is the wild card. Even with Medicare, you'll still have premiums, deductibles, prescriptions, and out-of-pocket costs. According to retirement estimates, a 65-year-old couple in America may need hundreds of thousands over retirement just for healthcare expenses alone. That's why pretending I'll figure it out later is dangerous. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many middle-class earners increased spending as income rose. Bigger house. Newer cars. Subscriptions. Helping adult children financially. But retirement contributions didn't rise at the same pace. That's the salary trap. You feel successful because income grew, but net worth didn't grow fast enough. Now here's the important part. You are not out of time. But you are out of room for delay. This is not about becoming rich. This is about becoming stable. Forget generic advice like you need $1 million. You need to know your number. Write down monthly essential expenses, housing, food, utilities, insurance, minimum lifestyle costs, debt payments. Let's say your true essential monthly number is $3,500. That's $42,000 per year. If Social Security gives you $24,000 per year, your gap is $18,000 annually. Using the 4% rule, you'd need about $450,000 invested to generate $18,000 per year. Now you have a target. Clarity removes fear. If you're 50 or older, you can make catch-up contributions to retirement accounts like a 401k or IRA. For example, if you can invest $1,500 per month for the next 10 years at a 7% annual return, that could grow to roughly $260,000. If you already have $150,000 invested in Adlet Growth, you're suddenly near $400,000. That changes the picture dramatically. If your employer offers a 401k match and you're not taking full advantage, that's free money being left on the table. This stage of life is about aggressive but controlled accumulation. If you're paying 18% on credit cards, investing for 7% makes no sense. Every dollar of high-interest debt is a guaranteed negative return. Pay that off first. Reducing required monthly expenses also lowers your retirement number. Less monthly pressure equals less total needed. This is not popular advice, but it's powerful. Working even 3 to 5 years longer can dramatically improve your situation. Here's why. You contribute longer. Your investments compound longer. You delay withdrawals. Your Social Security benefit increases if you delay claiming. If you wait until 70 instead of 62 to claim Social Security, your monthly benefit can be significantly higher. That's a permanent increase adjusted for inflation. Even part-time income in your 60s can reduce how much you need from savings. Retirement doesn't have to be a hard stop. It can be a gradual shift. This is where discipline matters. If you're earning $90,000 per year but living like you earn $95,000, that's the problem. Trim recurring expenses. Downsizing housing if realistic. Reducing car payments. Cutting in used subscriptions. Limiting financial support to adult children. Not because you're failing, but because the math demands margin. A $500 monthly reduction in expenses equals $6,000 per year. Using the 4% rule, that reduces your needed portfolio by $150,000. Small lifestyle adjustments create massive long-term impact. If you're 50 with less than $200,000 saved, here's the truth. You cannot afford autopilot anymore. But you also do not need to give up. The next 10 years are your power decade. Consistency now matters more than perfection before. No crypto gambles. No get-rich-quick nonsense. No panic moves. Just disciplined saving, smart investing, debt reduction, and realistic expectations. You may not retire at 60. But you can absolutely avoid retiring in fear. And that's the real goal. If this message feels uncomfortable, that's okay. Discomfort means awareness. And awareness creates control. You still have time, but time only works if you act. Start with one step this week. Calculate your real number. Increase your contribution by even 1%. Pay off one debt. Schedule a retirement planning review. Progress compounds just like money does. And if you found this helpful, consider subscribing. This channel exists to break down the salary trap without shame, without hype, just real numbers and real strategy for the American middle class. You're not behind. You're just at a turning point. And turning points are powerful if you use them.